WrestleManiacs, Maniacs. This is the podcast. It's called WrestleManiacs. Adam, Donald, Indian Josh. Then now together forever and son. WrestleManiacs. This is the podcast. It's called WrestleManiacs. WWE, AEW, TNA, JPW. WrestleManiacs.
What's going on, fellow WrestleManiacs? It's your host, Adam Perez, back once again with a brand new episode of the WrestleManiacs podcast, as we are, in fact, live to go ahead and talk with you guys tonight about the King and the Queen of the Ring pay-per-view event, or PLE, as they're calling them now, over in Saudi Arabia. We got new champions crowned, new reigns for our kings and queens to go ahead and discuss. It's going to be myself and Josh today, minus Datila. She is actually over in Houston covering Comic Palooza. She gets the opportunity to meet John Cena tomorrow, so she's definitely looking forward to it. But coming to you guys 2 hours after the wrap-up of King and Queen of the Ring. At the end of the day, we also want to know your guys' thoughts. Remember, these are just our APlus opinions, but we want to know yours. What did you guys think about the pay-per-view? We're going to go through each individual match, talk about some highlights, let you know who the winner is, give our thoughts, and also let you know, most importantly, who won predictions today. So guys, feel free to go ahead and interact with us, debate with us, have conversations with us in the comment section box below if you're watching, and especially if you're watching this live, hit that like button, guys. It definitely does go certainly a long way. We got quite a few people watching us over on Twitter today, so we appreciate you guys certainly coming through. Man, Josh, good to see you, man. We had a great prediction show when we recorded it or went live on Thursday. And here we are, man. Now that the pay-per-view is wrapped up, what are your overall thoughts of the pay-per-view?
Good pay-per-view, but I got to say at the outset, I'm a little concerned about Donald meeting John Cena tomorrow. Did she waste her money? And here's why. Is she going to be able to see him? That's the big question, right? Again, got to get that in for Donald. No, definitely exciting for her and exciting for pretty much all of us to hear that she's going to meet John Cena. For the pay-per-view, yeah. It was a pretty good show. I would say I thought the main event fell a little flat at the end, but we'll get into that. But definitely excited and definitely enjoyed. I think this is definitely something that I think WWE can get away with every year now that we actually had stakes aligned to the King and Queen of the Ring. Well, last year we really just had the title and that was it. So definitely a good way to kind of bridge the gap.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with you. I've always been a big fan of the King of the Ring tournament in general. I do miss the days of when the tournament actually had like the semifinals and like the fact that you had to go through multiple matches in one night. I know the fact that now that we split it up for King and Queen, that's a little bit more impossible, but I've really enjoyed the tournament sort of leading up to this. We've had some really great matches. As far as the pay-per-view in general, I thought it was a solid, enjoyable one for sure. I don't think it was one that like knocked me on my ass or blew me away or anything, but I could legit look at each and every match and be like, yeah, it was really solid from top to bottom in here. So I thought they gave Saudi Arabia a fantastic show. And for those of us that certainly watched it, I thought it was a really enjoyable show for the most part, to be quite honest with you guys. So I'm really eager to go ahead and dive and talk about it, but we also have to let people know who won predictions before we get into it.
Now, I wonder who it could have been. Is it Dodala? No, I think it is. Let's see how I do this. I always get confused. It is you over here. That's always backwards. It's
yes, sir.
Adam next to us, but you got that almost last small package 3 count on Dodala though. By the skin of your teeth is, I believe, what she called it. 1 point. But hey, look, doesn't matter. It's kind of like how Triple H said about the King of the Ring winner. Despite the controversy, the referee's decision is final.
It's final. That's right. I did have a clean sweep in regards to at least getting all the matches correct in here. If we were going by confidence points, yes, I eked out a victory over Datila by certainly 1 point. But not gonna brag too much about the clean sweep here in regards to getting each match right. But look, guys, I want to know your thoughts. If you had predictions this week, did you get all your predictions correct? Let us know you guys' thoughts in the comment section box below. But Josh, let's go ahead and get into our first match of the night, man, because I think this one certainly surprised everybody. And I love when WWE comes out of the gates with a big surprise, a big swerve to go ahead and really kind of set the tone for the rest of the night. adds a little bit of unpredictability for the rest of the evening, quite frankly. And that first match that we wound up getting was for the World's Women's Championship match. Becky Lynch, who was the champion, against Liv Morgan. But now, Josh, we've got ourselves a brand new champion in Liv Morgan as she raises the title high. One of the things that I said when we did predictions was I feel like they were kind of building up to this moment for her. She's always been second place. Even when Rhea hurt herself, I think a lot of us thought who's going to win the championship first, and we thought it was going to be Liv due to her revenge tour. But they surprised us, pulled a swerve, and gave it to Becky. And one of the things that I always said about Becky is I always felt like you can put the belt on her at any time, and at this point in her career, it doesn't have to be a long reign. Just somebody push on to the next storyline. And Liv Morgan finally gets the big one here over Becky Lynch. What'd you think of this match, man?
So I had 8 words as I heard the 3 count. I'll be damned, and I'm glad I was wrong. That's maybe 9. I was, because, in the end, I called her Becky Hogan for a reason, not again because of the politicking. I don't think that. I think because she has that star power, because, again, she had the book out, right? Got to promote the book, and she's got to have that title on those book tours. Again, had Rhea not been hurt, of course. But match was pretty good. Again, a lot better than a Raw match. Now, did I love the screwy finish with Dom supposedly, allegedly trying to stop her from winning Mommy's belt? No, it's kind of obvious that there's going to be a swerve there. But I did appreciate that it wasn't just a simple thing to where he interfered with Morgan and they got together. It looked like he was trying to stop Liv Morgan, especially with that sick DDT on the chair. I'm like, you know what?
Yeah, it was a good
We're
spot.
starting to get those headshots again. We're starting to get a lot of that sort of crazy stuff we used to. Maybe not Attitude Era style, but match overall was good. And when she hit the Oblivion whatever thing, it was great. I was excited. I really was happy that she won. Even though I was wrong, I was glad I was wrong.
Yeah, my girlfriend's not a big Liv Morgan fan. So while I'm sitting here pumping my fist for Liv getting the victory, my girlfriend's like, no, I can't believe she won. She's definitely not a big Liv Morgan fan. But look, I honestly can say I really do think she's come far in her career. Especially, I feel like this last year and a half, I think she's really developed. I don't know if it's from just more training she's put under her belt, more experience with big time stars and getting that opportunity to really shine. But I think she's found a role that she fits almost very naturally for her. And she's exaggerating it, and it definitely works. I definitely get the spoiled brat kind of revenge vibes from her for sure. And so there's a part of me that really likes what Liv is certainly doing, and I'm glad that they recognize it enough to put the title on her. I do agree with you. First off, I was a big fan of this match. I thought this was a great opener match. The crowd was definitely into it. People were chanting, "This is awesome." So I think these two ladies really helped carry this beginning of the event for sure. But I am kind of with you in the sense that I don't know if this ending is exactly what it seems. There have been clips on Twitter that I've seen, some people pointing out the idea of like Liv and Dom exiting the same room together. If you watch closely in the background, like they clearly have been talking or communicating in some fashion or another. And I could easily see Dom sliding the chair to Becky on purpose. She looked confused as hell as to like, why are you even out there? That's just that, lie, cheat, and steal of Eddie Guerrero that's in Dom's blood that I think he's trying to put a fast one on us. And so
good
look,
verbiage. Slide just in the DMs, right? Slide on in.
Yeah. So there's two ways I see this going. I either see this as Dom switching sides and really getting close to Liv, or this is one gigantic game plan by him and Mommy in the sense of like, I want Liv to have this title so that when I come back, I can whip that ass and get my title back from her. So I am kind of curious what route they're going to go.
Again, we go to the thing now. Again, granted, they pulled the trigger. I always thought Liv Morgan was going to win that title. And again, I would be hoping maybe they're expecting Mommy back sooner. Maybe that's why. Because again, to jump the gun like that is great. And maybe she'll defend it against Becky again. You're going to have the Dominic story. But again, we're all looking for that moment of her holding the title over her head. And this is my brutality. And then everybody's going to lose their collective mind. And who knows if the Judgment Day is going to even be back when Mommy comes back. Because look, we're already starting to get this sort of tension. I mean, it's really weird. We saw nothing about Damian Priest in this thing. There was no Judgment Day really influence besides Dominic at all, which was strange.
Very Judgment Day less pay-per-view for sure.
The world champion wasn't there, nor was the SmackDown Women's Champion. Not even in the crowd. To me, why they didn't have Damian in the crowd watching the King of the Ring, right? Why they didn't have Bayley in there watching the Queen of the Ring, because that's going to be potentially
very important. Yeah,
their opponents. So it was really random to have DIY there, which is great. But I'm like, why are they there and nobody's there to watch Randy and Gunther? Are you kidding me? Come on now.
Yeah, absolutely. So very interesting stuff, man. But I was a big fan of this match. I thought these ladies really killed it. And congratulations, man, to our new World's Women's Champion in Liv Morgan, man. So
happy to be wrong.
We also, before we even get on to our next match, I do have to say we did have a pre-show match that I think that they added sort of last minute. I think I sent you guys a message. I don't know if it's something that they announced on SmackDown or if it was after SmackDown and they announced it, but we did.
Was after. I think it was like
after
over the weekend or something, because I don't remember it being on SmackDown. But again, I don't know. I mean, that's again, like I said, full disclosure, I've not got to finish SmackDown because, again, I've mentioned on my on Twitch that I was at the hospital with my son last night. He's doing better, but I hadn't got to do the review yet about that. So,
but yeah, we did have a match. I didn't get a chance to upload the image for it, but it was our women's tag team champions, Bianca and Jade, facing off against who were their opponents again?
Indy Hartwell, and Candice
LeRae, right?
Squash match, basically.
Yeah, I mean, they one of the things that I tweeted about, because you and I were both live tweeting during this event, which, guys, by the way, if you're not following us over on WrestleManiacs podcast over on Twitter, make sure you follow us, man, at WrestleM Podcast. Click that follow button, guys, notification bell, just so anytime we drop anything, you guys are certainly notified. But if you do want to speak wrestling with us nonstop, 24/7, this is certainly the best place for you guys. Josh goes live not only on YouTube, but Twitter for Raw, NXT, and SmackDown to give you guys reviews each and every week. So if you're not following Wrestle M podcast, please go ahead and do so. But while we were tweeting about this, one of the things that I said was, I don't know who's going to beat these two women. Like, I'm just trying to think as far as like a well-oiled women's tag team machine, who's going to take these titles off of them. And I felt like if there's anybody that's going to defeat them, it's probably going to be themselves in regards to maybe imploding at some point in time. But do you have anybody in mind, women's division?
So I'll say in legitimate, I wouldn't be upset. I'll give you two scenarios. To beat them as heels and to have legitimacy enough to win, I would say Baszler and Stark. I could see that somehow or another. But the real story to me would be, or the better story would be, the fact that Jade would turn on Bianca and then cause Stark and Shayna to win, because you have established heels, very good very underrated, I think, tag team. I really, really love those two characters. And I think
Shayna and Zoe.
Because to me, I'll be honest with you, and I say this as lightly as I can and respectfully as I can. I think Jade and Bianca are a good tag team. I think the look's great. But this promo in this show, and we'll talk about it, was just very, I don't want to say stereotypical, but wrestling is stereotypical to a degree, right? We got Io Sky talking in Japanese, whatever. But to me, it just didn't feel, I feel their chemistry is forced. I don't think they're really best friends. I don't feel they're really best friends. I think they're just playing along with the story, and that Jade ultimately is going to become this ultimate heel bitch that she's supposed to be, because that's who she was born to be. I mean, think about Chyna as a face and a heel. Did you really like Chyna as a face, or was she better as a heel? She was better just being intimidating, just beating the crap out of people. I didn't like face Chyna, who hurt her neck and did this. I don't want to be sympathetic. I thought Nia Jax being a sympathetic face versus a small Alexa Bliss being bully was the stupidest storyline ever. So to me, in looks and in design, yes. But I think Stark and Shayna's got to be the one to take it off of them, because to me, they're the more legitimate tag team. Because do I want to see Piper and Niven again, or Piper and Chelsea again? No.
Yeah, I do like
see some badass athletes, and those two are badass athletes.
I do agree with you in regards to if there's anybody that's going to take it off. Now that you've mentioned them, yeah, I can easily see them being one of the reasons for sure. Unlike you though, I do like Jade and Bianca together. Like I do believe them as far as them being legit friends go. So I am hoping that them being together, just not. I hope that they keep the belts on them for a while.
Yeah.
One to legitimize the championship more than what it has been recently, and I think Jade, as much as I love her demeanor and how she holds herself in the ring, there definitely are very much like green moments for her, like rookie moments for her that you can
Yes.
tell in the ring. And the longer that she's with Bianca, I would assume she would just continue to get better and understand the ring a little bit better. So as long as it takes for her to get on, I don't want to say on par with Bianca, but more comfortable in the ring,
Yeah.
then maybe pull the trigger down the line. But as of right now, I really do like them as a champion, and I think they're going to be pretty dominant and put some respect on those titles for once in a while.
I mean, there's a reason they were on the pre-show. I mean, again, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's not that I dislike the team. Don't get me wrong. I think the team itself is phenomenal. I just think that this interview, and again, if you remember the interview from tonight, it just didn't seem. I don't know. I mean, like you said, who are going to beat these women? And I want to have it to where even if they don't win, or if they keep the championship, I would like to have a team to face them to at least give me the peril of, oh crap, they may actually lose this. Because right now, it's like Cody Rhodes. Who's going to beat Cody Rhodes after this entire year? We kind of know it's going to be a long story with him. So I want at least some believability. Like, we'll talk about the Gunther Randy match. That to me is a perfect example of, you know what? I wasn't sure what they were going to do. Even in my prediction, I was really back and forth on what was going to happen. So that's what I want. Just for them, I want teams that are legitimately threats to them.
But let us know your guys' thoughts in the comments. If anybody's going to defeat and take the titles off of Bianca and Jade, as I like to call them, Black Girl Magic, let me know your guys' thoughts. Do you guys agree with Josh in the comments? Let me go ahead and let you guys know. Let your thoughts be known in the comment section box below. Real quick, shout out to Ram Jam, man. Always coming through, man. Always a reliable and follower and viewer of the show. He says, I had Liv Morgan winning the women's world heavyweight title with assist from Dom. If you called the assist from Dom, Ram Jam, extra point for you, man. I didn't even consider to add that as an extra credit point for our predictions, man. But I'm glad that you were certainly on my side with the Liv Morgan prediction. I felt like I was the only person on an island with that prediction, but it seems like other people were with it. So we'll see. All right, now let's get back to the main pay-per-view itself, Josh. As for the second match of the night, they hit us with a triple threat match, man. Sami Zayn defending his title against Bronson Reed and Chad Gable in here. The result being that of Sami Zayn retaining his title. I can't remember if this is what we all predicted or not, but hell of a match, man. A great triple threat match in here. I mean, back-to-back bangers, if you ask me, in regards to kicking off this pay-per-view. Yeah. People were definitely chanting, this is awesome moments in here. We got some great sort of combo, triple, moves, sets in here also that I think sent people through the roof. One of my favorites in here was seeing Bronson Reed literally stacking Sami Zayn and Chad on his back for the Samoa drop. I thought, I mean, it looked like light work to this guy. He didn't even look like he was struggling to carry them or anything like that. This is light work for this man. Unbelievable. Was there any other spots in here that you were?
Oh gosh, so many. I mean, to me, you have the triple ankle lock. It didn't last as long as I expected, but that was pretty fun. And then definitely what I liked was the switch of the triple German suplex. You thought Bronson was going to get them, but Chad goes behind. Does it to Bronson, does it to Sammy. And I mean, really, to me, even the finish of Otis kind of, am I going to, am I not going to? There was a lot of good moments. Now, I didn't love the result, to be honest with you, because they did. It's funny. They basically had Otis out there, and I thought if they're going to do my called spot, I would have loved it. But they did the spot in reverse. Technically, it was the haluva kick, and then he had had Sammy retained. But I was so hoping Otis was going to pull him out and get Chad Gable to win. But
when Otis came with him down to the ring, I started getting worried about my prediction. I was like, oh no, this is totally Josh. He's going to call it. But I do love the way that they played it up. It does make me wonder if they're building towards an Otis versus Chad sort of thing. I don't know if that would be like a on Raw match, or they hold that off for a SummerSlam event or a pay-per-view event at some point in time. But I will say too, first off, the German, I completely agree with you. The double or triple German suplex. I totally thought it was going to be Bronson, but Chad Gable just continues to impress us with his incredible strength, man, to be able to do that with Bronson Reed. I really would have loved to have seen him do his rolling thunder German suplex on Bronson if he was able to pull that one off. That would have been hell of impressive. But like you, I was a fan of the double ankle lock, and what I thought was even what I even thought was cooler was the fact that not only were they like letting go and switching it up on the other person, but when Bronson gets loose, he tries to attack Sami Zayn, and he gets caught in his spinning power bomb, which I thought was a really impressive spot too.
Oh, it was a great triple threat. I mean, and again, despite the best way I can describe it is, again, Sami Zayn's all right. It's funny. I watched a clip of Johnny Knoxville kind of heckling Sammy over at a Comedy Store. I don't know if you've seen it. It's a really great thing, but he dresses up in like some weird gear and basically says, "Sammy, where's Kevin to make you relevant?" And I was like, "Oh, make you interesting." But you know what? I can't disagree. Sammy's great on his own, but to me, I don't know. I just felt that, let's put it this way. Had Becky won instead of the first match, I would have thought Chad would have got the better heat of beating Sami Zayn in his home country or whatever, home area. So I don't know. Again, it was a great match. And again, you know what the best part about this is that each one of these individuals, I don't think the Intercontinental image would have gone down if either one of these three gentlemen won. That's the best thing. You have three legitimate contenders now and believable contenders. And that's what we're really looking for as contenders. So that's a great thing.
I totally like Bronson Reed in this mix, or at least knowing that he is a legitimate threat for the IC title. I can easily see him getting that title one day for sure. He does remind me a little bit of like a Bam Bam Bigelow, especially doing that moonsault off the top in this match too. He missed, but it just reminded me shades of Bam Bam for sure.
Yes, exactly.
But at the end of it, guys, the end result is in fact Sami Zayn winning in quote unquote his hometown, holding up that title a little bit higher. And if anything, I will say I don't necessarily think he needs Kevin Owens to certainly remain relevant. I will say there's a part of me that misses the conspiracy theorist heel Sammy, where he always felt like everybody was out to get him. Now ever since he became honorary Uce, I feel like he has just been a fan favorite, playing the underdog, but somebody that can pull on one hell of a match, and very much like his best friend Kevin Owens can go through a ton of punishment and still pull out massive victories. I think him and Kevin definitely have. Like, you can't count any of these two guys out when it comes to matches between them. So that is one aspect about Sami Zayn's character I've come to appreciate.
Yes, sir.
But yeah, guys, let us know your thoughts in regards to the triple threat match that we wind up having. Again, starting off with two bangers. And then we start getting into the King and the Queen tournament matches, our finals. As first up was, in fact, the women's, or I should say the Queen of the Rings final match, as we had Lyra Valkyria facing off against Nia Jackson here. Now with a brand new queen this year of Nia Jax. I thought this was actually a pretty cool crowning ceremony. After she wins this match, Triple H presents her the crown in the ring. They have a really great hug. I mean, you can tell that this is definitely in sort of an emotional moment for Nia for sure. And it was just something. This isn't something he did with Gunther, and I appreciate that he did this with Nia. Is like she kneels before him, and he puts the crown on her to crown her as the Queen of the Ring. And it just reminded me of like a knighting moment from like a movie.
Yes.
And I just thought it was a really great moment for Nia because like I've said before, I have appreciated her recent work. I thought that she was going to at least get the upper hand at Elimination Chamber to make it like a triple threat match or something like that at WrestleMania. That unfortunately didn't happen, but I think she's done such good work. I think the idea of the Queen of the Ring fits her and her personality just perfect. My girlfriend is a big fan of Nia Jax, and when she saw that she won, she just she said, she's like, yes, so much more shit talking now. And I'm like, yeah,
Wow.
that's
Okay.
that's
Hey, look,
that's Nia
everybody likes their
Jax.
stuff. That is interesting. Okay.
That's Nia
Hey.
Jax. So yeah, man, I'm glad that she pulled this one out. But what are your thoughts on her victory in here, and just the thoughts on the match in
We,
general?
I mean, we knew this was going to be an inevitability. Lyra is definitely okay taking this loss. I mean, again, and you really they kind of telegraphed it when she's like, look, she beat Becky, and then she went to Raw, and then she's in the finals. Like, all right, and we already know she's won. But this match made sense because even though in WWE, anybody can beat anybody, right? Depending on how they make it look. To me, this match was okay, but I don't think it did Lyra any services because, I mean, trying to do anything to Nia Jax is hard because Nia Jax is a big, big girl, right? Nothing wrong with that thick girl. But I just feel like that this match was Nia's. I did like that, she did get emotional and you could touch her place. Like, okay, all right, you're a heel. Get back, get it together, which I thought was really neat. But, it fit. It really did fit. Even though I'm not a biggest fan of Nia Jax, I think she is coming to her own as a character. I just think her in-ring work needs help. But again, anybody can get better. And I think this time, she's starting to get better. I think she's starting to get it. Where her first run, because I can tell she's getting more, I'm trying to think how to say this in a nice way. She's toning up to the point of where she's still big, but she has the tone and she has it to where she's big because she's big and muscular. Do you know what I'm saying? She's got the
I think even my
bigness.
girlfriend notices that. It's like she's definitely putting in some work for sure at the gym because she does look like she's put on some muscle and toned up a little bit for sure.
Yeah, and she's putting the work in. It's the same way with a lot of other. I can't think of another wrestler I was talking to my wife about, and I was like, I'm glad that she looks smaller because she looks better. It makes it seem like she's got more athleticism. So kudos to Nia because again, her character work is getting better, and I think SmackDown may be able to give her that opportunity and freedom where she's against Becky Lynch on Raw, right? She's going to have a hard time being number one. So, again, I'm excited to see it. I mean, because I think Queen Lyra made no sense. Queen Nia, let's do it.
Yeah, and you're right. She is getting better at her character too, because immediately after she won, she just ripped the crowd on the microphone, and I'm just like, yeah, this is why I wanted her to be the queen, just because if I can, I would just want to see her a full year in this mentality, and I think it really sort of works for her.
Exactly.
Ram Jam says, I'm just glad that there was something on the line besides wearing a crown. Yeah, it definitely adds a little bit more emphasis and importance for pulling out this victory. And then talking about Nia, he says she's getting a lot of help behind the scenes from Paul Heyman. And look, if you're going to get help from anybody, that's definitely the guy that you want in regards to just character work and being on the mic and stuff, I will agree with you. Look, I think Lyra's going to be a huge star. I have not seen her very much in NXT, so she's completely brand new to me. But seeing her work in the tournament has really made me a big fan of hers. So I am glad that she at least got this opportunity, especially just to come from NXT. She's a former champion, though, right? Former NXT Women's Champion.
Yes, I mean she's definitely. I mean, admittedly, the last couple of months have been really good to her. I mean, that character of the Raven character, again, she's almost like she's pulled out of Game of Thrones, right? With the Raven. I love
the
character.
Freaking wings, dude, that she came out with. It was a great look.
Pop so huge. I was like, yes, finally. But I mean, she's good. She definitely has the goods. I think she's still, I won't say green, but I think, I hate to say this, and I don't mean it in a negative way, but I think there's some wrestlers that work better. Okay, if you were going to have Rey Mysterio and Undertaker, it's okay, but it's really going to be hard to sell that, right? Rey Mysterio and Big Show could sell it because Big Show knows how to sell to a littler character. I think Lyra's kind of in the same, in that as long as you have her versus a Stark versus maybe somebody like that versus a Piper Niven, you're going to get a better match. So, look, Becky chose her, from my understanding, to put her over and let her beat her for the NXT Championship. So that says a lot right there.
Well, when I look at Lyra, to me, I know you say green, but she looks like she's pretty accomplished to me. Like when I saw her against Becky, maybe because she's fought against Becky a couple times, but she looks really smooth. I don't see like any hesitation, any thinking in her moveset whatsoever.
Right.
She looks like to me at least, she looks like she's very confident and competent in the ring. And I think for me, that really won me over too. Like, oh, this really isn't like some raw NXT star getting an opportunity. Like she looks like she's been putting in the work. And I've been I was a big fan of hers. This match didn't move me though as
Mhm.
much as
Right.
I wanted it to. It was a little bit stale. And I mean that in the sense of like, I think this is probably the first time that these two have ever worked together, so I think there's a lot of that kind of going into it, if you will. But
Sure.
she definitely did her best to kind of put up a fighting effort. But I think at the end of the day, you knew Nia was gonna pull this one out. And just one of the sickest finishing spots of her Annihilator I've ever seen, bro. I mean,
Mhm.
next to the idea of her slipping off the rope and nearly crushing Rhea Ripley, this was probably like a second.
That's
I
what
don't
scares me.
She went for the sunset flip power, or she went for the power bomb. And I love the idea of Lyra leaning forward to try and get it, and she can't, so she leans further back, and it was just
Mhm.
to her demise. And Nia just let it all let it all down on her. It looks like she almost probably didn't even hold on to the ropes. It looks like maybe she slipped a little bit too, but it was just a crushing Annihilator, bro. So it was for me, it was a fantastic finish. But I hope Lyra's okay for sure.
Yeah. I mean, again, when I say green, I don't mean green in the terms she's got the ring intelligence. She does. It's just hard because I think she's not used to working against a bigger opponent like Nia.
Yeah, I
Definitely not
completely
a
agree.
slight. I just mean
Right.
that it was
Yeah, I
hard
get
for
you.
me to. Becky could smack her, and maybe they really are hitting each other to make that a difference. Where Lyra, I think she's still trying to do the safe, like, all right, let me just barely tap you. Again, not a slight against her. I just think that the more she runs into it, I think NXT is different than main roster. It always has been. NXT is a lot more hard hitting, and I think main roster is getting there. But I think it's just the transition. She's in the transition period right now.
Yeah, I can totally see that. I can totally see that. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, we have ourselves a brand new queen of the ring, Nia Jax. We definitely want to know your guys' thoughts in regards to how you felt about this match, what you think of Nia certainly as a competitor, or at least now the new queen of the ring. Let us know your guys' thoughts in the comments. And especially if you're watching us live over on Twitter, we definitely feel free to interact with us, man. Like, retweet this. We definitely want to know your guys' thoughts. And then next up, as we get back to the king of the ring. So I actually thought when they were going to book this pay-per-view that they would have maybe the queen of the ring to start off. So an interesting choice for them to go ahead and have the final certainly back to back. But then after this, we wind up getting ourselves the main event. But the king of the ring final match had Randy Orton going up against Gunther. And we had our main winner here in Gunther, not only just the ring general, but now the king of the ring. And first, I gotta say, before we even talk about this, I do love the fact that as he wins, the crowd is chanting, "You deserve it, you deserve it," and he
Yep.
immediately stops them, and it's like, "No, he's like, I earned this," He's like,
Yeah.
I put the sweat and tears in here. I'm the ring general. I earned this." There was also also I don't know if you saw this, but over on Instagram they posted a video of Gunther leaving the entrance, or he's going back through Gorilla, whatever the case may be, and the cameraman says, "Gunther, you dropped this," and it's the crown. And so the guy gives Gunther the crown, and he's
Huh.
looking at it, and he's like, "It's pretty, isn't it? It's pretty, isn't it?" And he's like, "But you know what?" He's like, I don't need a crown." He's like, I don't need this crown to show that I'm the king of the
Wow.
ring. We all know this sort of thing. So
Right. Wow, though.
I was interested in the idea that he didn't wear it at all. It was almost like a piece for him to kind of carry
Mhm.
around. I wonder if the part of me was like, is it too big for his head or something like that? But
His head might be too big. It might be the opposite.
so there's a part of me that's wondering, like, is he gonna wear the crown come Raw? Will we see him wear it? Is he just gonna
No.
hold it like it's a prestigious title? Is he just gonna disregard it because he knows he's the king? What do you think?
Okay. In comparison to the character, understand I'm not comparing one to the other, but I'm comparing the attitude, right? To me, this is Gunther's Austin moment of winning. Basically, Austin 316 says, "I whipped your ass." This is essentially Gunther saying, "Look, I'm the king of the ring. Of course I won this one." Because did you see Austin wear that crown after? Nope. He was like, "All right,
Good
I'm king of the
point.
ring. I've already established this has already been I already knew this. This is not a surprise. So for Gunther, he may be like, you know what, because I don't imagine him saying, I'm no longer the ring general, I'm now the König of the ring, which is king in German, right? So I could see him say something like that, but no, I do not want to see him wear a robe and a crown. It is not his gimmick. And Ram Jam just said the same thing. He literally just said, I'm king of the ring. Of course I'm king of the ring. I whipped everybody's ass. No problem. This match, though, man, I'm telling you, it went back and forth for me. This is one of the rare moments that went back and forth and back and forth. And I was like, you know what? Who's going to win this one? Because they did good false spots. I was like, Randy, you could win it because you could have him versus Cody Rhodes. But now we're going to have Gunther versus Drew, Damian Priest. Interesting times coming up.
I'm going to be honest, Josh. You know, when we talked about the predictions, we were like, what's going to be the match of the night? And we both said, oh, the Gunther match for sure. But this match fell a little bit flat for me.
Okay.
Well, okay, let me not say that. Let me not say that because I thought this match was great up until the finish. The finish for me was a little bit sloppy. I don't know if they meant to do the hey, look, Randy Orton's shoulders up. Randy Orton's his shoulder is up. I will say when they did replays, I feel like they tried to hide that particular view and they did it from the back to maybe cover it up a little bit more. So I do wonder, was that planned? Was that not planned? Is this an excuse to give Randy sort of a rematch, if you will? But the ending just felt a little bit sloppy. Like the commentators did their best to continue to roll with it, but then I think it was Corey Graves that when he did see one angle, he was like, "Oh, was Randy's shoulder down?" sort of thing. So I am kind of curious when we get to Raw or SmackDown if the shoulder being up says anything. But to me, it felt blatant. But I don't know. Do you think that was just an accident on their part? I mean, Randy Orton's a veteran. You know, I would think that they would do their best to get themselves back into that reposition. But considering the fact that it was literally an RKO and then quickly meant to be into a roll up, there's a part of me that thinks that it should have been cleaner than that for the quick 1-2 and the ref to come in. You know, like I think the idea of if his shoulder comes up, the ref's got to like check it and remind him shoulder down, shoulder down. I think then it takes away from that 1, 2, 3 moment. So I don't know how to feel about it, but I think the sloppiness of it really made me like, man, is that how it ends? You know, it kind of deflated me.
It wasn't your typical Gunther win. It definitely was not a typical small package. And I think that at this point, I'll be honest with you, I think it was a ref screw up. Because I think so. Because if you really look at it, again, are you telling me that Randy Orton's going to lose on a slide? Essentially like a roll up? That's not, and Gunther is going to be the one to do it? No. Now, if Gunther was fighting, I don't know, Undertaker. If he was fighting Brock Lesnar, maybe I could see that as a possibility. But Randy Orton, I mean, he's chopping the hell out of him. To me, it was 1,
working his
2,
back,
3.
Working his back the whole match, working his knee the whole match. As I'm watching it, I'm thinking this man's gonna put him in the Boston Crab and make him tap out or something like that. And so the idea that it came to a quick roll up, I was like,
it's too late. 1, 2, 3. What are they gonna do? I mean, sometimes they can ignore it. But it was 1, 2, 3, and they had that clear shot of it.
Yeah, it was a clear shot.
What could they do? They couldn't ignore. They couldn't say it didn't happen. And same with Orton's shoulder being up. Because if you look, it was down for a few seconds. It was 1, 2,
and then it was up. Yeah, it's up.
I think the ref missed it because if you watch again that press conference or how Triple H said, "Look, the ref
missed the press conference.
It wasn't a press conference. I think it was just a clip online. But he just said,
so people did question it.
He said, look, the refs, this is what he said. The ref's decision is final. And look, I just saw Randy Orton. He's pretty banged up. I don't think he's ready for a Gunther rematch. But hey, look, I think Randy Orton wouldn't mind a rematch. I even think Gunther is going to want a rematch to reclaim and say definitively, I am the king of the ring. So I think it's their way of kind of saying like, it's a screw up, but just know the rules can change. And because look, they can get another match out of it at Clash of the Castle if they really want to.
I would,
and nobody's going to be upset about that.
I would absolutely love that because I mean, seeing Randy Orton try and absorb those shots, those chops. I mean, this man was just trying to eat them as best he can. At least the first three, and then after that, each one just buckled this dude. But it was definitely hard hitting. I love the ring psychology in here of not only just his back but also his knee too. I mean, Randy was definitely pretty beat up in this, and I think that's why I was thinking to myself, like, man, if he can get Randy Orton the tap in a Boston crab, like that would be incredible in regards to, because I don't remember Randy Orton tapping out too much sort of thing. So
I
it
was
would have been
thinking they
something
were
that,
going to have him tap. You're right.
yeah,
And so I think it
that's
was a rough screw up. I think they didn't know what to do. They're like, well, we have to do it, you know?
but for me, I'm perfectly okay with the idea of Gunther in here being the new king of the ring. I was certainly hoping for it. I think it just continues to build on his legacy, fresh off of 666 days as the IC champion. Now
The
he's got
devil's number.
now he's got the king of the ring match and an opportunity to face whoever the Raw champion is going to be come SummerSlam. And like you, Josh, you brought this up in our Facebook Messenger group behind the scenes. He says, "Do you make Damian Priest babyface and have it be Gunther versus Priest, or do you have heel Drew winning the title and challenging Gunther, who is heel, and have it be heel versus heel?"
Well, I'll be honest with you. I'm going to have a hard time buying Priest as anything right now because he's kind of de facto the baby face of Judgment Day because he's just kind of cool and collected and chill. You could do it, but here's the thing. So Drew McIntyre already has a claim to. Oh, I'm sorry. Let's take this back. If you notice, the match has already been determined at Clash at the Castle, the main event already, with Priest versus Drew McIntyre at Clash at the Castle, right? So to me, that's hard because Gunther's going to have to win it, but I think Gunther's going to win it at Bash in Berlin because that's going to be his area, right? But that's in August after SummerSlam. So are you going to tell me one of two things? Gunther's going to lose at SummerSlam to whoever he faces. And I would imagine it's probably going to be, I think you could do Gunther and Drew because there is that story of WrestleMania 39. I would much rather see that match because even though they're both heels, Drew technically is a heel, but technically he still is kind of I would call his gimmick an angry young man. He's always felt like he's been screwed. Literally, it's the same Zayn character, the conspiracy theorist, in a different form.
Right.
So to me, I think you can get away with Drew McIntyre as the world champion and Gunther saying, look, you never beat me. You may beat Priest, but you didn't beat me. So I don't mind a Gunther versus Drew because look, they've had banger matches before, and at this point, who cares? We have heel versus heel matches every once in a while, and it's weird, but I'm sorry. Again, I know you like Damian Priest, but I don't think he's going to be ready for that babyface type because they've not treated him as world champion. He's kind of an afterthought. So I can't really say he's bad at being a world champion, but they've literally given this man maybe a match or two, and that's it. So, I mean, I don't know. It's hard. But I think Gunther versus Drew is the better match and better story because there's already history there.
I would agree in the sense that there is history there for sure. And that's one of the reasons why I wouldn't mind seeing it at SummerSlam. I just don't think we're gonna get it though. I have a feeling it's gonna be Priest versus Gunther, and I only say that because I think, look, I don't know when CM Punk returns, but it is CM Punk's mission statement to make Gunther's life a living hell right now.
Even McIntyre.
McIntyre a living hell right now, and
Yeah.
I do not see Drew McIntyre winning a championship while CM Punk is around. Like I do think he manages to screw Drew once again out of winning a championship and continuing to kind of build that feud. And then I think you can then have Damian Priest going into SummerSlam as the heel. And I think because Gunther's IC title reign has been so respected, I mean, damn, you even have the Saudi Arabia group, crowd chanting, "You deserve it."
Yeah,
Like,
I mean, Gunther is an enigma.
Right. He's almost that quasi. Yeah, he's an enigma. He's like that quasi baby face that can get over as a baby face or heel, depending on who he's going against. People are going to root for Gunther at this point. And so I think that's what we see at SummerSlam is a Priest Gunther. And then maybe you leave a Drew and a Gunther somewhere down the line. So I think that's maybe how they might pull it off. But we'll see, man. We'll see. But Gunther definitely gets a title shot at SummerSlam.
So are you saying we're going to hear Gunther? Michael Goldberg should have been a good worker.
Yeah, like
but I mean, you're right. I mean, I wouldn't be upset at any combination. I just feel bad for Priest because Priest, I think, has skill. I just think they're, for whatever reason, hiding him, and I don't know why. They're hiding him at this point.
We'll see who his next couple. Well, he's got Drew at Bash at Berlin.
No, Clash at the Castle.
Clash at the Castle, and then there's what, a Money in the Bank. Which one comes first?
Clash and the Money in the Bank.
I think if
so they've got the danger of somebody cashing in beforehand. Who knows?
I truly hope that I hope the next consecutive pay-per-views, Damian is defending this title.
Yeah,
I would like to see him get a couple more wins as champion under his belt before he faces somebody possibly as Gunther. That's if Priest even makes it to SummerSlam. We've got a long road before then, but we'll definitely see. But ladies and gentlemen, not Jay Uso. He might be Money in the Bank guy. He may be Money in the Bank guy.
Please.
But we know for sure that whoever is going to be in the championship match at SummerSlam, it will be this guy, the new king of the ring, Gunther, ladies and gentlemen. Let me know your guys' thoughts in the comment section box below, what you guys thought about the match and the result. And last but not least, the main event, as we wind up getting ourselves Mr. YouTuber, Mr. Podcaster, the one that went toe-to-toe in the boxing ring with Floyd Mayweather, the influencer himself, the U.S. champion, Logan Paul, faced off against our undisputed WWE champion for the title, for Cody Rhodes' title, facing off against the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes, in this one, with the end result being and still champion Cody Rhodes pulling out the victory in here, which crazy booking towards the end of this. There was a lot more going on in here than I certainly expected. I mean, from the first interference from the Prime guy being tossed into, inside the barricade to distract Cody, while the second Prime guy gives the brass knuckles. I mean, Logan had like 2 sets of brass knuckles in this match, if I'm not mistaken. It was definitely, I definitely would agree. It's a little bit overbooked. To also have the special guest announcer from Saudi Arabia interfere in the match towards the end, because look, if I'm not mistaken, Josh, it was on the contract. I believe it was no brass knuckles allowed. Maybe, I don't know, but clearly this guest ring announcer
said he would do it without it.
There you go. So he said he was going to go ahead and do it, and this ring announcer wanted him to live by that code, and it certainly cost him, as Cody Rhodes pulls out the victory in here. Let me just say this before I get your thoughts on this match. One of the coolest spots in this match, and great production work, man. Like one of the best production shots and spots of this night was Logan Paul going up to the top rope, the really cool drone cam that did a 360 on him and caught him doing the beautiful frog splash to the outside through the table, crashing into Cody Rhodes. I mean, god damn, if that's not going to be on a highlight reel for Logan Paul and future pay-per-view events to wrap up this year. It was a sight to behold, man. So kudos to the production team. The production team, ever since they got rid of, what's his name? I don't remember the guy's name.
Voldemort. You're saying Voldemort.
Yeah. He who shall not be named. Yeah.
Both names start with a V, interestingly enough. So that's funny that it says that way.
The production has just been so clean and beautiful lately, and this was just another example of that, man. I absolutely love this shot, but what else you got to say for that, Josh? And let me know your thoughts on this match.
Camera shots. If you go back and watch, and I didn't really realize it until Jim Cornette, I was listening to his podcast, pointed it out. If you go back and look when the former person that we spoke of that we shall not name was there every time there would be a movement, there'd be a camera shot. Because I do production, right, at church and stuff like that. Okay, so I'm over cameras and what.
Uh-oh, did I lose Josh? He was kind of working on his hotspot off of his hotspot at the house. So maybe we lost him here for a second. That's okay. We'll keep Josh on. We'll keep Josh on this one on the screen until hopefully he returns. We'll see how it goes. What did you have to say, Ram Jam, in regards to this though? He says, I was not able to see the PLE live. I was able to read the results. Yeah, man. Look, it's a rarity these days that I get the opportunity to sit back and like watch the PLE live for myself, especially being a father now with a kiddo and stuff. Like this is, there's a lot of juggling, so I feel like the past couple of pay-per-view events that we've had, pay-per-view events that we have had have been a little bit difficult for me to actually watch like live, or like I'll begin watching it live and then I gotta go, whether that be like make food for a little kiddo or put him down for his nap or whatever the case may be. So I definitely have missed out on a lot of stuff live. And I don't know when Peacock started doing this, but like I'm used to the replays sort of becoming like quickly available. Like if you miss it, once it's done, maybe you have to wait an hour or so and then it's available. But now I got to wait through a whole press conference before the actual replay is loaded back up. So like when the event ends, I got to wait like an additional 3-4 hours before I can watch it again. Or if I got to go back and resume playing, if the pay-per-view is already ended, I can't go back and watch it anymore. And so I really hate how that kind of works out. But hopefully you'll get the opportunity, Ram Jam, to go ahead and check out this pay-per-view when you can. Solid, enjoyable. I think maybe the flattest match of the night was probably the finals for the Queen of the Ring event. But outside of that, I was really impressed with a lot of these matches in here. A flat ending for me when it comes to Gunther and Randy, but the rest of that match was pretty incredible. But a lot of solid, enjoyable matches, to be quite frank with you. I think I've got Datila maybe popping up in here. Is your camera ready? Let me see, because I think I just see your mouth here. And I think, I even got Josh here too. What is happening, guys? What is happening?
Hey, Adam.
Before I bring Josh back in, because I have this set up for 2 cameras only, so I might have to go between the both of you guys. What's up, Datila? How are you?
Dying of the heat over here. How do you guys live like this? My hotel has AC, so I'm okay right now. But it is so hot outside.
Ladies and gentlemen, a guest star here today, Datila, checking in from Houston, Texas. She's so used to that California heat, she doesn't really know or appreciate AC like we do, or get to experience the ridiculous humidity that is Houston, Texas, or just Texas in general at times. It's probably worse. Like I went outside, it's pretty humid today, but I got to imagine it's worse in Houston because you're so much closer to the ocean.
Yeah, I took a shower this morning and then I went outside and my hair just completely dried. Well, it's still wet now, but I can't tell if that's because I took a shower this morning or I was just sweating. But my glasses got foggy. It was just crazy out there this morning.
It's pretty gross.
10
It's pretty gross.
It is.
So you didn't get a chance to watch the PLE, did you?
No, but I already know. I keep up with stuff.
So did you come here to acknowledge me?
I did come here to acknowledge you. I did.
I appreciate that, Datila. Thank you.
Oh, but you only won by the skin of your teeth. Okay, you beat me by a point.
I know, but to be fair, I did clean sweep and get all the matches right. To be fair,
you did.
Be fair. Yeah, it's good to see you. Are you excited to meet John Cena tomorrow?
Yeah, look at the cool pass they gave me.
Oh, that's pretty cool. They gave you the Peacemaker one. I dig it. They didn't even give you a wrestling John Cena one. They gave you the Peacemaker Superstar John Cena.
They gave me Peacemaker John Cena, not wrestler John Cena, like you said. And then I like the media badge. It's really cool. It's
Oh
like
yeah, the
a
media one is
little.
like a baby Godzilla with a screw. Is that what that is? A drill
Hmm.
bit? I don't know what that is.
Yeah. Which I guess that's Texas in the background.
Oh, maybe. Hey Josh, give me a thumbs up whenever you're ready. Oh, he's ready to get back in
Oh,
here.
you can't put all three of us on screen at once.
Well, I can, but well,
There
we're
we
kind of
go. Kind of hidden, but hey, look, I mean, Donald showed up like Undertaker at WrestleMania to save this freaking podcast. When the lights went out on my end, boom, here comes Donald, and she appears. So yeah, I don't know.
Say
As
my
again, I've been
name and
having internet
it
connections,
appear.
so
Can you do
she appeared.
landscape or no,
I can
Josh?
do lands. Oh God,
Will it pop?
I
Oh,
think
there
I
you
can
go.
do landscape. There we go.
There you
You
go.
All
want
right,
me to do
look, I'm
landscape?
trying
I
to
think I
find
can
this
do
new chat.
landscape. Okay, yeah.
Sorry, y'all. Again, I've been having issues the last couple of days, and my hotspot decided to stop. So, but again, just like Taker, bam, she just appears at the right moment.
So Josh, give me your thoughts on the final match here of the night. Cody Rhodes facing off against Logan Paul. Did it live up to your expectations? Was it better than you thought? Was it just a finish that you weren't pleased with? What did you think?
Be honest with you, I could give a flip about this match. It was good enough, but we all knew Cody Rhodes was going to win. We all knew what the end result was going to be. It's kind of like, they. I'm sorry, the believability. We all know kind of what WrestleMania 41 is going to be. So again, any match with Cody Rhodes, it's like, oh, okay, he's going to hit it 3 times and he's going to scream, whoa. So the finish I didn't like though, because look, if you're going to have some rando Saudi Arabian, whatever he is, just, you know what? If you're the crown prince, screw it. Just say, I want to be in the main event. You know what? Make me the referee. Okay. At this point, you're the Saudi prince. Do whatever the hell you want in the country. Just, cost him the match, right? So I don't know. Again, it was okay. I mean, they did well enough, but I never felt a threat to Cody, and that's what I want to have as a threat to Cody. I feel like if it was Gunther, I'd be questioning here. Randy Orton, but it's Logan Paul. He's already U.S. champion. They're not going to make him a double champion yet. He's not ready.
That's why I really wanted both titles to be on the line, man. I would have absolutely loved it if he took that title off of Logan and then be like, you know what, I'm just going to put this up for a tournament if people want to fight over this belt again, type of thing, and see if Logan can win it back. But we didn't get that. But I will say, I actually really enjoyed this match. I thought that they both worked pretty well together. I thought for the most part it was a pretty clean match. They both looked really smooth in the ring together. I thought the vertebraker spot was pretty incredible. Like I wish they had another angle at it. The vertebraker is one of those moves where I legit get nervous every time I see somebody try and do it because I know how risky it is, and I always thought it was one of the banned moves that they had on the list.
Yes.
But it does look like Cody definitely looks like he's a veteran enough to pull it off. And so when I saw the way he was like kind of leaning forward and stuff, it made me think, okay, yeah, he's definitely leaning forward a little bit to help Logan Paul out. But that is always a sick move, and it just reminds me of Hurricane Helms every time somebody tries to pull it off.
Somewhere Sugar Shane Helms popped huge and just just instantly went like that whenever it happened. That was good to see though. I mean, that was definitely, I forgot about that spot. That was a really good spot to see because we have not seen that in so long.
And I gotta say, I do think Logan Paul's I think Logan Paul's outside of Montez Ford, I think he's got one of the most beautiful frog splashes. There is something cool with the leg spread, him, reaching in between. Yeah, I'm a big fan of how he does his frog splash overall. But yeah, look, I think this was another predictable one. But there's a part of me that kind of appreciated the booking in the sense of doing their best to make it as a little bit believable. Like maybe Logan Paul will win this one. Because one of my girlfriend's worst spots in wrestling is the referee getting injured. She's always like, every time a referee gets in the way or gets hit in the turnbuckle or gets hit, she's just like, why are you there in the first place? Move out of the way. Like she absolutely hates it.
I love it.
Because then it leads to, close, calls like the low blow. I'm like, oh my God, no. He uses the knuckles on the outside and I'm like, babe, he knocked out Seth Rollins like 3 times with that punch, and so it's like, is he gonna pull it out? Is he gonna pull it out? But alas, he's the Superman of our age right now, Cody Rhodes.
No,
Josh.
Disagree totally. That's a whole nother debate. But look, it's all right. It's okay.
I mean, he's that American Boy Scout, But I will say, I hope Cody Rhodes does learn from this in the sense that his cockiness of not taking the count out in here literally almost cost him. When he rolls in and the ref's about to count to 10 because Logan is out on the outside, he literally stops him and he's like, "No, I want to finish it." And I'm just thinking, Cody, just take the W, bro. Take the W. And so there's a part of me that wonders if that'll come back to bite him. Because I think even Corey Graves pointed out, he was like, this is how Roman Reigns lost the title, wanting to do more than needed to be done, and it cost him. And so I do wonder if that's going to come back to haunt him or if Cody will learn from this mistake.
So actually, he was on Busted Open Radio about a week ago, I guess, and he was talking about just in general how when he's out there, he has to remember that he's a babyface. And I was like, there's a Homelander in that American nightmare. I mean, and it's good because I think that now that he's champion, I mean, you got to think he beat Roman Reigns, right? He beat the guy that held the title for 3 years, granted with a whole heck of a lot of help, but still beat him. So it would make sense that they're starting to play into the fact of, hey, look, I'm the champion, guys. I beat Roman Reigns. None of you. I could totally see Cody doing a meta heel that he tried to do in AEW. If I'm not going to turn, I'm not going to turn, and saying, look, none of you could beat Roman, but I did. So I am the best. I am the one that beat the 1 in 21-1. That's kind of how logically it goes. So I don't know. To me, if they start giving a little bit more shades of gray Cody, I'm good, because this coloring book, I ain't cool with it.
But look, I think Logan Paul did it incredibly well once again in the ring. They've put him up against some of these big superstars, and he's definitely holding his own, man, each and every time. So we'll see what's next. Ram Jam says we're gonna get now Logan versus LA Knight for the US title. LA Knight, Datila.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to this. I'm kind of curious when they will pull the trigger on this, if this is something that happens immediately or if they hold off until SummerSlam. I think it's a SummerSlam moment personally, but especially with Logan Paul Logan Paul definitely disappears after a couple of pay-per-view performances. He doesn't really defend his title very often, so maybe the next time we do see him is something like SummerSlam.
I wonder how that's gonna go, because isn't Logan Paul originally from Cleveland, from Ohio, and SummerSlam is gonna be in Cleveland, Ohio.
Yeah,
he's in Hollywood now. He could play a Hollywood role and probably get over it.
God, I hope he doesn't. I hope he doesn't pull out the W. I mean, I know we've recently gotten into the, hey, if you're in your hometown, you may actually pick up a W now. Like, I think it used to be Vince's thing where it's like, if you're in your hometown, you're taking an L. It's
like just a hometown, family, birthday.
yeah, you're like, you're taking the L. Yeah. We're taking the L. But Triple H seemingly has changed that. But with somebody like Logan, who doesn't defend the title very often, even though I think he's been I don't want to say he's been a great US champion. I think he's had some great defenses, but as far as he definitely needs to defend it a lot more for him to earn that category of great champion. But he's had some great defenses, at least. I can see them maybe wanting to take it off of him by SummerSlam to keep the US title a little bit more relevant on the main roster. So you might be onto something. He's got to win something, bro. He's got to win.
Even when this feud, I'm sorry, it's over.
Yeah, it's over. Yeah. His push would definitely be over after this. What do you think, Dante? You think he's got a chance getting the US title, or you think because he's in his hometown, Logan's going to pull out?
I think LA Knight, has a chance of winning the US title. I don't know if it'll happen at SummerSlam. I don't know how soon Logan Paul's gonna move into that feud, but I do think at some point LA Knight, will become US champion.
Yeah, we'll definitely have to see. But hey, Dante, when you get a chance to watch the pay-per-view, maybe you'll watch it on Peacock on your streaming app later on tonight when you get a chance to relax and wind down. But definitely let us know. Yeah, cool off a bit. Yeah, pump that AC, stand in front of it. Just put your arms there, just stand in front of it.
It hurt me so much when you said you had turned the AC. I'm like, you don't have AC in California? That's not a thing.
I do have AC in California. I just don't use it. There's no need for it.
I know, that's what hurts me.
Fan.
I have fans going now.
And the AC probably. It's like but yeah, let us know, Dante. Look, I'm gonna drop you out just real quick. wrap up the show, and then
Okay.
as we wrap up, I'll bring you back and we'll talk more. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
All right. So stay here. But look, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it for us, our King and the Queen of the Ring pay-per-view breakdown. As again, Cody Rhodes successfully retaining his title as WWE champion. But look, at the end of the day, we always want to know your guys' thoughts. So please let us know your thoughts in the comment section box below. And don't forget also, follow us over on Twitter, guys. If you like the WrestleManiacs podcast, oh, let me take down this banner so you guys can see it a little bit better. At Wrestle M Podcast. Go ahead and follow us over there. If you're watching us live, like and retweet this. It definitely does go a long way, guys. But feel free to interact with Josh. He's the one that usually handles the Twitter handle. So when you're talking or DM him, that's who's gonna go ahead and respond. But overall, Josh, before we wrap up, any final thoughts? What are you looking forward to in the future? Give us your thoughts before we get into Raw this Monday.
I would definitely say this was a better pay-per-view than Backlash. I definitely liked it a little bit more. Look, WWE's on a momentum. I mean, we went to France, we went to Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia was, I thought, a better show overall. And, as I said at the beginning, they definitely now can get away with having King and Queen of the Ring as a yearly event, because especially it has something on the line. Now, it's a little hard. We're going to wait, 1, 2, 3 PLEs. But you know what?
Mm-hmm.
I like it. I like that we're having this long-term storytelling of, look, they could have Gunther feuding against whoever and say, look, he could win the Intercontinental Championship back and then go for the world. I mean, so you have a long-term storytelling here. So, and there's always, it's kind of like a new Money in the Bank that, in 3 months, you're going to face this monster in Nia Jax and also in Gunther. I was surprised that 2 heels won on the King and Queen of the Ring, but hey, that Triple H loves heels. That's just is what it is. He grew up on Flair, so of course that makes sense.
Yeah, you make a good point. I mean, I guess that is like another wrench thrown into the plans for whoever's champion. Not only do you have to worry about the King of the Ring, but Money in the Bank kind of always lurking around the corner at any opportunity. So it does make the title reigns a little bit more interesting for sure. But yeah, overall, I was a big fan of this. Another solid entry in here. I personally wouldn't say great, but really enjoyable. Had some really solid matches in here with some, maybe one and a flat moment for me, but overall, man, I had a good time with this one, so I'm really glad I got the opportunity to watch it live this time around. But yeah, guys, if anything, we'll definitely see you guys later on this week. Again, Josh is going to be bringing you live reviews of Raw, NXT, and SmackDown. We may even start doing retro reactions or retro reviews for some past stuff, at least maybe once a month for you guys. I was also thinking too, Josh, I don't know, maybe based off of also like not only just retro matches, but also based off of what we might have for the pay-per-view event. I think you might have brought this up before, like whatever pay-per-view event of the month it might be, maybe going back and reviewing an older one too. Maybe we could do just something along those lines. Yeah. But look, guys, if you have requests for any matches, any pay-per-view events that you guys want us to review and react to, that's easily accessible for us to find, feel free to flood our DMs or our messages or replies with any requests that you guys certainly might have for us to go ahead and watch. Again, pay-per-view event, a single match, whatever the case may be, certainly let us know in the comment section box below. But Josh, this was fun, man.
Yeah, it was definitely an exciting ending for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. But always great talking wrestling with you. But guys, if you want to follow us on social media, at APlus Opinions for APlus Hero Report, we're exclusively your home for WrestleManiacs podcast reviews. And Josh, where can people find you?
Again, you can find me above at Wrestle M Podcast. I review Raw, SmackDown, and NXT. And actually, tomorrow I'll actually be doing a live tweeting during the AEW Double or Nothing pay-per-view event and actually doing a review pretty soon, probably, I don't know, maybe an hour or two after the event. Again, they got me on Dynasty. I just did it for fun. And I'm like, you know what? If they're good enough, maybe I'll throw in a Collision. Maybe I'll throw in a Dynamite just to see. Because sometimes I like just watching AEW pay-per-views. I have no idea what's going on. Don't know the storylines really. And to me, I love it because tell me. The job of any pay-per-view and any show was to tell me these stories, what's happened in the last couple of weeks. So it's a good test for me.
Absolutely. So,
So
yeah,
that's half
cool.
the
Look,
fun.
we might have ourselves an AEW review for you guys tomorrow. So, absolutely, man. Looking forward to it.
Yes,
But
sir.
other than that, guys, that will do it for us here. We will certainly see you back here relatively soon. But until then, do us a big favor, as always, guys. Take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and keep it A+. We'll talk to you guys later. Bye.
See you later.